Okay. So, good evening, everyone, to all the attendees and to the panelist members. I welcome you all. So, I am Keyur Punjani. I am the manager taking care of programs at ITIC. So, ITIC is IIT Hyderabad Technology Incubation Center, and we are a not-for-profit organization, and we are actually into pre-incubation, incubation, and acceleration space, and we support startups from the deep tech areas, but not limited to any of the sectors. We support it from AI, ML, quantum computing, AR, VR, IoT, robotics, to 3D printing, drones, etc. So to startups, we provide support such as mentoring, financial aid, right from 4 lakh rupees to 25 lakh rupees, IP filing support, networking, access to office space, co-working spaces, also IIT technology infrastructure, and Maker Lab support. So the ITIC was formed in 2015, and we have till now supported 70 plus startups through pre-incubation, incubation, and acceleration activities. And we have sanctioned more than 5 crores of rupees to startups directly and helped startups raise 50 crores of funds from external sources. So far, ITIC startups have generated around 100 crores of revenues and created more than 800 plus jobs. So at ITIC, we run different programs like NICE, which is in collaboration with NMDC, Tihan program for UAVs and drones, Mighty Tide 2.0 for EIR and grant support under the IT and electronics, Nidhi Prayas for hardware-based startups, BEL Seed Fund program with Bharat Electronics Limited, Asia Accelerator with Action for India, and IDEX DIO. So this was about ITIC. So today we are here to understand more about the Bhumi Challenge, Grant Challenge that Mighty and BSF has launched. So regarding the Bhumi Challenge, we'll go to that. But before, I would also like to thank our partners, Assam Startup, IIM, Calcutta Innovation Park, and Entrepreneur, the Business Incubator, who helped us to reach out to a lot of startups for this roadshow. So I would like to invite Mr. Viral Shah, CEO of Entrepreneur, to take the stage and share things about LJ and what Entrepreneur is doing. Over to you, Viral.
Thanks, Keyur. Hello, everyone. Myself, Viral from Entrepreneur, the Business Incubator, and we are based in Ahmedabad. We also started our incubation center in 2015, and we have supported 50 plus startups in the ecosystem of Gujarat. Till now, we have been a part of this nodal institute of Government of Gujarat. Government of Gujarat is promoting this startup via 3 or 4 departments. One DSP, one in Industries Commissionerate, Education Department, and we are part of all these departments. And through us, these grants are, passed given to this startups. And I'm very happy that we are part of this ITIC, BSF and Mighty run event, and we'll be very happy to be on board for future also. When we talk about our ecosystem, we are known as LJ Group of Institutes, and we have more than 20,000 students studying in our 3 campuses, and we are considered to be one of the largest academic groups in Gujarat. We are amongst top 3, and we have student innovation grants with us, and till now we have given 2+ crore rupees to student innovations in Ahmedabad. So, and we are basically known for funding, and we do conduct activities of funding on frequent basis in Ahmedabad. So, and we have a very good connect with HNIs of the state. So that's it from our side. Thank you.
Thank you, Viral. Thank you for helping us with the roadshow as well. So now I'd like to invite Hemant Bora from IIM Calcutta Innovation Park. So he's the Chief Investment Officer, and over to you, Hemant.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for, asking us to join this program. We are very happy and proud to support this program. And in fact, just like you, we are also an incubator. We are a TBI supported by DST. We are also a not-for-profit company formed under the institute, formed under IIM Calcutta. And no, very similar to you, we also incubate startups. We are sector agnostic, by the way. And in addition to incubating startups, we also run the state startup programs for various states in East and Northeast India. We run the startup program for West Bengal, Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, and the statewide entrepreneurship development programs, and this involves thousands of youth. And by virtue of the geography that we operate in, we end up being specialized in social entrepreneurship. But that being said, we also do have a lot of tech startup in our midst. In fact, our journeys are very similar, but I think we would be more of a downstream process to what you do, because your journey kind of, ends in commercial. You end the journey at probably, development of a product and commercializing it, and our journey starts at commercialization of the product. We also run pre-incubation programs. We also run, various incubation programs and acceleration programs as well. So we also conduct, nationwide social entrepreneurship challenges and events regularly with corporates, institutes, government bodies, and international agencies like, GIZ, DFID, and others. So the biggest program that we've run since 2012 is the Tata Social Enterprise Challenge. That is India's largest social innovation challenge. It's a joint initiative with the Tata Group. And if you were to put it very simply in layman's language, we are the part of IIM Calcutta, which is not academicians. Most of us in the leadership team are alumni of IIM Calcutta itself. And till date, we have supported over 350 startups. So it also constitutes of our own investment in about 50 incubators of about, we've invested about 12 crores of seed investment and follow-on investment of over 60 crores. And we've generated more than about 10,000 employment opportunities so far. Assam Startup is a program that we run among many programs, and this is where we have also become and grown as an ecosystem developer. If you talk about the, the kind of startups you have in this region of this world, they will be very different in profile from the startups that you generally see. And people here do not have the natural inclination to take up entrepreneurship. And this is what we are working on changing. We're working on changing mindsets of the people to move from being job seekers to job creators. And we engage with people right before they even think, right even before they consider being an entrepreneur itself. And we go right up to acceleration. So I'm very happy to say that our organization would love to work with you going forward, and let's keep talking and let's keep the conversations flowing going forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hemant, for taking out the time. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. Avanshu Gupta from the Mighty Startup Hub team to share more about the Bhumi Grant Challenge, like the technicalities of the challenge and how Mighty and BSF collaborated with the problem statements that they have shared. So over to you, Avanshu.
Thank you, Keyur. Good afternoon, everyone. So this is Avanshu Gupta, project manager from Mighty Startup Hub. So now the BSF was facing some challenges while working on the borders. So they seek to organize some hackathons with Indian startups and premium institutions for cost-effective solutions to strengthen the border security scenario. So in this directions, MITI and BSF has collaborated and launched a challenge, that is Bhumi, BSF high security undertaking for motivation and innovation, for maximizing innovation. Now in Bhumi, we have introduced 4 problem statements. The first is detection of mobile phones or electronic media on border area. Then detection of underground activities and tunnels. Then the alternate communication system in shadow areas. And the last is anti-drone technology. So we are inviting solutions for these 4 problems, in which MITI had launched the app call for applications on 2nd of July, and the last date is 31st July. So it is requested everyone to go through the MITI Startup Hub.in website website for the details and apply from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Abanshu. So now we'll be going forward with the fireside chat with Jeet and Dhruv. So Dhruv would be the moderator today. So let me introduce both. So Dhruv is a head of operations at iTech, and he takes care of the complete activities which happen at iTech Incubator. So Dhruv is a 3 times entrepreneur, and he has made a successful exit in this last startup. And I know Dhruv since last 6-7 years when we both ran our own startups in Gujarat, back in Gujarat. And after a successful exit, he moved on to this side of the table. He was part of Rajasthan government's initiatives to work with the incubation ecosystem. He also designed 2 UN accelerators. After that, he moved on to run the IIT Hyderabad's accelerator, which was Asia Accelerator, in collaboration with Action for India. And now he's part of iTech as head of operations. So welcome, Dhruv. And now I'd like to introduce Jeet. So hi, Jeet. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So Jeet is the CEO of MITI Startup Hub, which is the nodal agency for the Ministry of Electronics and IT. So MSH supports and promotes the deep tech startups across India. Under MSH, there are 51 plus incubators, 26 plus center of excellences, and multiple accelerators which are supported by the MSH. And it is also responsible for conceptualizing and implementing new schemes and programs to support more than 2,000 startups that are associated with the MSH. So about Vijay, he's an investor and advisor with 15 plus years of experience in the USA in international private equity, venture capital, and university system administration. So before joining MSH, his last position in USA was the managing director of the Horizon Fund, where he managed $60 million of funds from the University of Texas system. So Jeet, I welcome you in this forum, and Dhruv, over to you.
Thanks, KU, for the warm introductions. And okay, first I would like to thank Jeet to be on this forum, and I'll be asking a lot of questions to Jeet, and I'll be open to the audience as well. Like, audience can also put up their questions in the chat box, or they can just raise hand, and I'll allow them to be on the stage at the same time. Jeet, one thing, like, it would be great if you can switch on your video. I think it will be easier for the audience to connect with you, as well as I also don't want to talk to a text on the screen. So that is one small request I have for you.
Dhruva, unfortunately, I won't be able to do that because actually I'm on the road right now.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, because I had to jump into this call, but I was traveling. So I thought, but we'll find a way to engage with the audience. And I'll tell you, it's not only you asking questions, even I have to ask you questions from your background and all you have done. There's plenty of, I think, fun conversation to be had.
Yeah. So, Jeet, we are talking about the Bhumi program over here. And the very first thing, I was even talking about the same with Viral Bhai as well. Like, this program you have designed for 75 days, if I'm not wrong. Like, it's a very tight timeline. We see like 75 days, and you want a product out in the market to a level that BSF is going to release a PO on it. So what was going on in your mind when you were actually designing this kind of a program, and why it's so short timeline, and why so fast you want startups to be?
No, I think that's a very good question, Dhruva. So first of all, as Abhanshu mentioned, so this is a exercise in nation building. BSF and Ministry of Electronics have come together to work on Honorable Prime Minister's vision that we should be looking at Atmanirbhar Bharat in terms of defense and in terms of procurement for the defense through our own startups. So there's another conversation to be had on the procurement policy. But when we looked at designing this challenge, the 4 problem statements that Abhanshu described, detailing all the way from anti-drone technologies to underground tunnels and remote communication, prototype level products that the BSF can get involved with and help them enhance it and then even do validation and integration on the field. So we are not looking at building from scratch. We are hoping that we got 1.3 billion people, 700 million entrepreneurs, right? Everybody's an entrepreneur in India below the age of 35 because everyone is figuring a way out to make a success of their life. So we're always looking at and having that hope that somebody or the other in our community of startups is working on these kind of solutions. And this is just a window for them to find a way into the government procurement system, get access to the Ministry of Defense or BSF or the other, national aid. So the idea behind 75 days is that this should be a prototypement level where we can even do at least basic testing. And if the need be, as they procure the solution, it can be elongated afterwards, right? Because after the fitments and trials and tests, there'll be a different process. There'll be between the startup and the BSF in it.
Okay, so Jeet, if I look at the problems, the four tracks.
So in essence, this 75-day is for us.
Okay. So Jeet, if I look at the problems, like soft technologies, we are not looking much into the hardware. And I think that is one of the reasons you guys are looking at a so fast-paced solutions.
Jeet, you're on mute.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, the signal is a bit bad. So what we'll do is 2 things.
No,
One is
okay.
I'll try to answer, and if the signal drops off, then maybe Abhanshu can jump in for me and he can finish the responses because he's very actively involved in that, right? So I'll let Abhanshu also speak if I'm not able to contribute. So the idea is that we are looking at both hardware and software, but the stage of the startup is mainly at prototype level, right? So integration effort can be later. And the goal is that in the 4 problem statements, we will award the winners up to 2.5. I think that's where the budget right now is.
I think Jeet has got some network issue. Abhanshu, would you like to complete what Jeet was sharing? Abhanshu.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Can you please
Abhanshu,
repeat the
I'm
question?
saying, like, would you like to complete what Jeet was sharing? Yeah, so my question was, if I look at the problem statements, it majorly looks like these are soft solutions you guys are looking for, not much into hardware. But what Jeet was sharing, that you guys are looking for both hardware and software, but the state of the we are expecting the startup should be at least a prototype stage.
Yeah, we are looking for both hardware and software, as there is a need of some devices also, like when detecting the underground activities or tunnels. So we need a device that could detect underground waves and something, so that can recognize and just guess that is there any activities going underground, or the enemy or the terrorists, invaders, they are digging out the tunnels, or we need some devices in the shadow areas where the troops are patrolling and there is no conversations they had with their base or something, that no networks are there. So at that time, they won't get any instructions, so they can't inform to their base also. So these types, and for these detection of mobile phones, obviously we need softwares which can detect the presence of electronic devices or mobiles there. And for these anti-drone technology, we also need that we need the softwares which can detect if there are any drone or any aircraft is going over the vital installations. So we need both, and we have to integrate them to the BSF.
Okay, so my next question is like, I see the whole program is divided into two phases, the phase 1 and the phase 2. And would you like to put more light on that thing, how you have divided the whole program into phases, and what's going to happen in phase 1, and how you're going to move startups from phase 1 to 2, and what is going to happen in phase 2?
Okay. Yeah, in phase 1, we are going to have the applications. Once we received all the applications, then we would scrutinize them. After that, the shortlisted candidates or shortlisted companies would get a chance to visit the border areas, which would be taken by BSF. They will get them there and show the realistic problems. They would realize they would see their weather conditions, their everything, that how then they can implement their solution, that how it can be implemented there. They would be get introduced to the physical scenario which our BSF is facing. And after that, their presentations and all would be going on. They have to show their POCs that how they can do this. That is the second phase.
Okay, and can you share how much is the because it's a challenge? There is a huge prize money associated. So how the prize money is distributed between the phases, and how that is going to happen?
After phase 1, we would be selecting 3 top startups, 3 top applications in each problematic area, and they would be given some logistic charges around that is 10 lakhs per startup for their logistics and all. After that, the winner would get 30 lakhs.
Okay.
Hello,
so
am I audible?
There is one question I'm getting. Your voice is breaking in between. Avanshu?
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah. So Avanshu, I'm getting a question from one of the attendees. Like where is all this information you're sharing right now available? Like, is there a brochure which can be accessed online or somewhere?
When you go for apply links, first you would get the information about the challenge. Every information is there in the application form. After reading that, then you would be directed to apply.
Okay.
We can share the link
so
also.
I'll be sharing
so
the
that,
link as well in the chat box. Yeah, I'll be sharing the link in the chat box as well. I'm just sharing it. So guys, this is the link where you can go and you can see the application link as well as all the information about the program, the challenge over there. All 4 challenge tracks are as written there. The whole process and everything is available. So that's you guys can access the link and get the information from there. But I'll go to the next question I have for Mighty team is like usually when we talk about security, the like nation building and security in particular, that there is a lot of talk which happens around the IP. So when you are expecting these startups to build something, there is a bigger question, or there is a threat of sharing the IP with an enemy state or something, and who owns the IP and how things are going to be. So my question is on that front. Anyone from either Jeet or Abhanshu can answer this thing. Like how the IP play is going to be for the winners of this Bhumi challenge.
The right for the IP that is created or developed would be directly or indirectly with the winner of the challenge, and that would rest with BSF. And for leveraging the solutions, BSF can that would be there within the winner and BSF. So BSF would be having, but if you are going to implement your solution other than, yes sir, Jeet sir can.
Yeah. Let me answer that. So the idea is IP is definitely very important for an entrepreneur as they scale their business. But we have to realize that in the defense industry, so when a private sector creates a product, be it in the US or India, through DARPA grants, DARPA is the defense initiative in the US, or through the grants here, then there's always base IP definitely belongs to the entrepreneur and the startup who have created it, but the use case IP belongs to the implementation agency in that scenario. So for example, even in the BSF, and of course, we do not want to play the intermediary role here, because that is completely up to BSF and the startup to figure out the economics and licensing elements of the transaction. But generally, the idea would be that the usage of the product within a particular domain assigned to the implementation body, be it BSF or anyone else, and the entrepreneur will not be able to sell the same product to someone else without, because this is a defense we're talking about, without, and even in defense, there's all sorts of defense sale controls anyway at the national level. So that's a different issue. The has stays with the entrepreneur. Use case IP goes to the implementation agency. Licensing agreement will have terms and conditions. So what those will come to licensing agreement between the startup and BSF.
Okay. So typically, government also hold golden shares in the company who do defense production and supplies. So is there anything of that sort also involved in this?
Dhruva, can you repeat that again? It was very clear.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, typically when it comes to defense productions and supplies in particular, government sometimes holds golden shares in these companies, like smaller equities, but these are golden shares, so they have a complete, the government has a complete control. So is there something of that sort also involved with the winners of the challenge?
No, again, none whatsoever has been devised as such. The only issue that has been addressed is the ownership of IP at the base level. Now, again, as I said before, whoever the winner is, then, the state of their product development, are they at an early stage? Do they have a almost finished product? That will define the bargaining power of the entrepreneur with BSF. And then it's between the entrepreneur and the BSF to figure out, what kind of control, what kind of economics, what kind of scalability. Government has not mandated or required that any kind of ownership or golden shares be allocated to the BSF in this environment.
Okay. So another thing is, like, typically what happens when it comes to defense supplies and all, whatever the product is built, be it a software or a hardware or something, it has to be fitted on top of an already existing platform. And like, is there a specification document available where So when we talk about communication, so is there a specification document available where it is already shared that, okay, whatever you guys are going to build is going to stand on top of this platform, or if it is hardware, it has to be fitting over here, or something of these specifications available, or is there a specific phase of the whole program where this will be shared? How that is going to happen?
I think, Dhruv, that's an excellent question. And we have learned it through previous experiences that it's easy to attract the startups, but then, giving them the right access for technology validation, integration, and hand-holding during the project is a bigger challenge because everyone is very busy in ministries, and then hand-holding is very important. So in this context, we have identified the SPOC, or the individual from BSF and the team who are on a daily basis involved with us. And once we get any query from startups that, okay, they may have a query on the technology, on the process, or on the integration, then the BSF people will work with them on a daily basis to answer those queries, give them that sandbox environment, be it the APIs or be it like the access to the field, right, or the technician, so that they can actually have, not be operating blindly in a theoretical world. So we have a good joint team working from BSF and the MIT to make sure that any startup that apply for this, and when they need any handholding and support as they develop their product, they'll be provided that. And again, we will have some webinars. We will have, once we have sufficient queries via email, on the phone, then once we have those, the FAQs will be published on our portal. Also, we will do a webinar with the BSF and MSH team to answer any particular technical issues that the participants may have.
Okay, and specifically about the eligibility. So, who is a startup as a definition who can apply for this program? Is it necessarily to have a startup in your registration or of company formation, or anyone can apply with it to it who has a solution to the problems? Well, what's the eligibility criteria for the thing?
So the eligibility criteria, it has to be a company, right? Because we cannot give money directly to an entrepreneur. It has to go into company accounts. So a private limited company is needed, or MSME registered, because even a small SME is same as a startup for this purpose, that it doesn't have to be, below certain threshold of revenue or below certain number of years of existence. As long as you are operating, you are an Indian majority owned entity, you are registered in India, you have no legal or compliance issues associated with the company, you're clear with the ROC, and you are operating in this domain, then you can definitely apply. And of course, it is recommended, not just for our purpose, but for a general operating purpose, that any startup or SME be registered with MSME, Udyog Aadhaar, or the DPIIT startup certificate, because it allows them to avail a lot of benefits. So it's generally a good practice to be having those registrations. That's why we kind of encourage the applicants to provide those numbers, because it becomes an incentive for them to go and do the registration. But aside from being India registered, Indian owned, and Indian domiciled, we don't have any particular requirement in terms of size and age, unless you are like TCS or Bharat Forge. Those are not the applicants we're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, so there is a very interesting question that this guy is putting up. It's Mr. Amit Singh. So they have a solution which actually solves two of the problems which are given in Bhumi. His question is how to apply, because does he has to apply on like twice for both the problems separately, or is there a way to say that, okay, I'm making one application which can solve two of your problems?
I think that's a great question. And so in our application form, there is a question which asks you which problem are you applying for? And you can literally select one, none, all, either, right? any combination of problems. So you can directly apply for 2 in 1 application. You just have to submit the necessary supporting evidence and documents to justify that you have solutions for both of them, right? So saying it, you have it is one thing, but actually showing the diagrams and the work or the prototypes of actually having a drone and having a underground tunnel technology is a different thing.
Yeah. Okay. So Amit, you have your answer here. I'll be taking more questions from the audience if there are, because we are like moving towards the end of the program. There are more questions from the audience. We are happy to have them. So my next question to Mighty team is on the selection process. Like, what kind of like selection process is there involved for these challenges? Like, preliminary screening is one, but what after that?
So the first stage is submission of application. Then once the applications are submitted, they'll be segregated by the each problem statement. Then within the each problem statement, the applicants will be ranked and evaluated on multiple parameters, be it on the technology readiness level, innovation level, scalability, replicability, viability, all the factors that are to be considered for deployment. Those ranking matrix are there. And so all the applicants in each problem statement will be evaluated on a very quantified metric. It'll go through 2 levels of evaluation, just to make sure there is no, individual biases in terms of evaluation. So there will be 2 double blind evaluation without the names of the applicants on it, right? Once that is done, then the pitching will happen for the shortlisted candidates from the each problem statement area. Then the shortlisted applicants will be invited to make a presentation to a joint committee of BSF, MIT, MSH, industry expert, and the domain experts. So they will be there as a committee, and the startups will make a presentation to them. And that on that basis, the startups will be shortlisted for pilot and implementation. So at that point, they will be given access to the field, to the technicians, the experts, and the details and the data that is required for them to validate their solution. And once the validation is done, then the secondary pitch will happen, and then the onboarding and the procurement will happen.
Surely. So I have one question coming from Ishan. The question is, what if someone is having a partial solution? Like, are there any benefits to them, or is there a way out for them?
I mean, I don't know what is a partial solution when you're making a drone technology or a underground tunnel. Like, how would you define the partial? It's hard to give that answer.
Yes. No, so like there was this question. Okay, so I have Ishan, so I'll allow Ishan to talk, and let's hear him out.
Yeah, please, let's do that.
You can, please.
Hello, Jit. This is Ishan here from Optimize Electrotech.
Yeah,
yes,
hey,
Ishan,
Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, if any of the technology has the combination of different technology, like if we are talking about the anti-drone system, then it has total 3 or 4 kind of different sensors required. So if we have one of them, or if we can support it with one of them, then can Mighty will help us to integrate with other system integrators. Like if someone has the other sensor, or it is a very complex system, right? The anti-drone system. So that requires lots of technical expertise, and as we know that most of our Indian organizations are not into the exact or full-fledged solutions.
No, I got your point. I think that's a great question, Ishan. And I would, at a very high level, I would say you should definitely apply. You or anybody, even with a half-baked solution or a partial solution, because of two reasons. One is we don't know all the kind of applications we will get, and that depending on the nature of application, then only we'll be able to figure out what kind of a evaluation will happen, what kind of a handholding support will be provided, what kind of a multi-party integration needs to be done to provide one solution. So you never know, right? So that's why it's definitely good to apply. And then maybe it might be integrated with someone else who has a partial solution, or this might be an add-on technology for another solution. So the opportunities exist. And second thing is, I'd always encourage people to apply, because if you're working on something innovative and interesting, you should always make sure it's in the eyes of the investors and the potentially government funding agencies, because you never know. If not under this program, then some another program, we might be able to support you. And if not in a BSF, then maybe under something MOD is doing or a Homeland Security is doing, Home Ministry, we may be able to find the right use case for you guys. So it's always good to apply, because unless you go out and tell your story, then no one else is gonna hear you. So I welcome your question, and I think you should definitely apply, and we'll figure out what the possibilities will be down.
Okay. Another question is in Q&A. It is about, is there a way to know the total grant amount which somebody can win?
Banju, can you mention what was the total amount? What is it?
Dhruv, can you please
Yeah. So,
repeat?
so the question is, what is the total grant amount somebody can win over here?
Maximum of 35 lakhs a startup can win. As I had specified, 10 lakhs in the logistics and after the first phase. And when the winner was announced, so he would get 25 lakhs as a winner amount in I statement. If they are winning more than one statement, it can be multiplied.
Okay. Okay. And then there is another question coming from Ishan again, is he want to ask, can one apply for challenge for solutions other than the listed challenges? If somebody thinks there is something they've built which can be utilized with BSF by BSF and can be implemented through MITI, is there a channel for that as well?
Let me take the first question first, and I'll get to this. So in terms of what's the total any startup can win, so you can win the award at the logistics stage for each of the problem statements. So 30 lakh over there, plus the winner of each stage. So that's another 90 lakh. So more than 1.5 CR, any startup can win, because out of the 2.2 that we have, if you're submitting a solution for all the problem statements, and you are the winner of all the problem statements, so you can literally win the award for all the problem statements, right? So maximum can be pretty much the maximum.
Yeah.
But anyway, having said that, it shouldn't be about the money as much. It's a chance to work with BSF to do a large scale implementation of project, which will definitely be worth a lot more than the award money. And second is it's a internal motivation to build your nation, do something useful, contribute that you can be proud of. So this grant money is just there to incentivize and to make sure your costs are covered. But the real pot of gold lies at the end of the rainbow when you do the implementation for BSF. That's the first thing. Second is, can you apply for some other solution if you have? I think, Ishan, I'll say that two things. One is there's something called IDEX, Innovation in Defense, under MOD. It's a fund that purely focuses on IDEX. So if you have any defense related innovation, you should definitely reach out to them directly, because they're always looking for things, and they may be running some other challenges where you can apply. Second is, you can definitely email us as well, that you're working on XYZ technology and the solution, the impact it can have, and the domain and the agency you want to work with. And then we will see if we can align you with those guys. I mean, there's no guarantee at the end of the day, but if there's some great solution or startups are developing, then it is our duty to make sure that they get access to the body, whatever implementation body is, and after the access, it's up to you and them to see if anything actually materializes out of it. But do send it to us, and we'll see what, if anything, we can do to help you.
Really. So I expect Abhanshu will be sharing. Yeah, so Abhanshu just shared the official mail ID to contact Mighty. So anyone who has who thinks that there is a solution which is not there in the challenge documentation, they can still write it down to Mighty and get in contact with BSF and try things out. Okay. So and I don't have any more questions coming from the audience. So audience can also put up their questions on the same email ID, and I think Abhanshu and Ajit and their team will be answering those. But towards the end, Ajit, I always ask this question. So typically in panel discussions, I ask people to question each other, but over here, I'll ask you to ask a question to us if you want to. If you guys, if Mighty team has any question to the incubator side of the table, or what it would be. And don't ask a revenge question to me, okay? So
No, first of all, my apologies. I'm not able to do the video, which is not only improper, but seems a little rude at times. But I'm on the way to the hospital, so I couldn't actually turn it on. So I'm not in the right place, but definitely I appreciate this opportunity. And the question I have for you guys is, what do you see as the reason why you are involved in this? Dhruv, one, in the ecosystem personally, okay, and second, as an institution for hosting this BSF roadshow. What drives you guys?
okay, so personally, so like after doing 3 startups, I realized I like the journey of being an entrepreneur. So like that is what I always crave for. Okay, so I'm good at building things. I'm not great at keep on running them. Okay, so that is why I realized like being on this side of the table will be the best thing for me. Like this way, I'm right now part of 35 different journeys together. I'm having 4 to 5, like I'm meeting 4 to 5 entrepreneurs every day. I'm spending time with their teams, and like I'm deeply involved with them. Okay, so like around 30 startups. So which is exciting for me personally. When it comes to this kind of a roadshow and all, the idea is very simple. It's like we are also looking for great startups to come in, and we want, and we are anyways supported by Mighty for a lot of things. So we want to build this ecosystem and this bond stronger by this kind of a roadshow, so that if we can get good startups for Bhumi, there is also a potential where we can also incubate some of these startups whom we know are surely. So like I'll say we are greedy over here. Okay, so if there is a startup who gets selected in any of the challenges at Bhumi, there is short money for the incubator as well over there. Okay, so if I say, hey, if I get a chance to at least select one of the top 12 of the phase 1, okay, I'll be happy to invest our incubators, because I know India is right now doing more than 7,000 crores worth of defense import every year. Okay, and with Atmanirbhar Bharat thing, I see this import going even down by 1,000 crore will only happen if we support these startups. Okay, and we as incubator, we are not for profit organizations, but our another motive is to become self-sustainable, and that will only happen if we invest our resources in the right place. So Bhumi for us as iTech is a great place to source good startups and support good startups who are surely going to make a difference at the entrepreneurial landscape of the country, as well as our internal ecosystem, I'll say.
No, I think that's a very honest and passionate answer, because your passion of having done it yourself many a times and supporting 30 companies. You guys are an institution in yourself, and I think working together, if we can identify more jewels, more potentially shining stars that only not build a lot of wealth for themselves, but can contribute to building our country, can be an amazing source of satisfaction and return for all of us. But with that, I would like to thank you for inviting us. If you have any other thoughts or questions.
Yeah, so we have the Mighty Startup Hub email already published in the chat box. Anyone who has any more questions for Bhumi or any other startup related programs happening at Mighty can directly shoot an email over there, or they can contact team at iTech, and we can also route it to Abhanshu and Jeet's team. Okay, so that's possible. And I think that's all from our side, Keyur. Back to you.
So thank you, Jeet and Abhanshu, for all the informative queries that and the questions that drew through to you. So I also thank PSF for this collaboration with Mighty, and to all the partners, Assam Startup, IMCIP, Entrepreneur, to make this roadshow a grand success. And also thanking all the participants and being such a warm and communicative audience for us. So if you have any queries, you can reach out to us via email, and to apply, you can go to mightystartuphub.in/challenges, and you can find the Bhumi Grant Challenge there to apply. So thank you. We'll end the session here. Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.